Welcome back everyone. Today we're in the Giants Editor and I'm Joel and this is the 10.0.7 version of Giants Editor for Farming Simulator 25. Today I'm going to be adding this building which technically is already here, but I'm going to show you and explain some things. I had explained a little on previous episode about bringing in the buildings to put them where you want to decide what to do with them first if you're not sure, and then you can do the placeable toolkit thing. It really depends on how you're doing the building. Like if you don't care and you want to do it right away, you should be able to still use the placeable toolkit that way. They did change it. It's very different, and since I had added in a bunch of things that's not been placed yet, it keeps asking you if you click on the validation, uh, if you want it to be in the placeables config folder or whatever. And so you can go ahead and click yes on those, and those would be put in there and written in there. Now, obviously, we're going to have to show that you need to add the map icon or the little picture, really the PNG, the picture of whatever the building is, for it to show in that little area when you click on the icon in the game. But basically, it just depends on how you want to do it. Now, when I tried to add as normal, whenever you click on the placeable toolkit and you go to add it, it didn't pop it up at the bottom down here, and it's because this building is already here. And all it did was, it didn't do anything actually at first. It had an error, which I will show you if I can find it. It may not be there. Okay, I'll recreate it. So let's go ahead and get started so I can recreate it so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, it's already in my config folder because I just tested it. I was verifying how they changed the Placeables toolkit. That's my first time I looked at it to see what they did to it. And so, just on my first look, I'm noticing how it's working, and I wrote this into here through the Placeable toolkit, these two, just testing. Now I'm going to leave that one for now. We're going to be doing a video on it, but I'm going to be deleting it at that point to show it in the video once I get to it to that point. But this is the grain flour mill US, and it's the one that is in there now. Now it worked, and I went in game and it was there. But it was there because of that building that was already there. But this made it work without me having to replace the building that I had already put in there from importing it in there without any kind of XML stuff. It was there. Okay, so we're going to delete this line of information and try to do the process again to see if it works. I want to show you how it does it. I imagine it will still work the same way. You never know with Giants Editor there. Now, so what I did is, that wasn't in my XML, as you just saw. It's not there. Okay, if we was to look at my XML, you'd see that that particular building is not in my XML folder. Okay, the Grain Mill USA one thing. Okay, so this is the building. We'll click on it. You can see it's not even placed where I would normally place it because I was working on the train track, and that's the only reason I brought the building in for a second before using the actual Placeable toolkit, is so I could test and see where I wanted it and mold the ground. And as you can see, I'm still going to have to mold this ground up higher because this line, because the little thing that they made for it is there. So I'm going to have to lift this ground up if I want it to work. Alright, so at least in this form, I guess there's probably a way to bust it down or do something to it, but in this particular way that they had it to begin with. And as you can see, this is how it would appear in game once we get it in there with the XML. Now, this is the thing. You can click on that. You can see if you click user attribute, it has a thing there now. I believe that was the one that they had added. I'm not sure. It wasn't there before. Or maybe this is the original one. Yeah, this is the original. I would assume it's the original. But I'm going to go ahead and click out of there and go to the bottom and just show you there's nothing down here with that particular building name. Alright, the only one that shows up is this one, which I added from the main game map. I just exported and imported just for getting my ground right and putting it wherever I thought it should go. So now we're going to click on scripts, shared scripts, map, placeable, placeable toolkit, and then here we're going to leave the mod folder one at the directory to the main game map. And wherever yours is, that's what you would want it on. And mine's on D drive and so on. So if yours is somewhere else, make sure you click on it, go find where your main game is installed all the way up until Farming Simulator 25, and then you're good. Now this one, placeable config, map placeable config, you just click it, go to wherever your map is, and mine's in My Games Farming Sim 25 mods, and my map name and maps US, and config, and then you click placeables once to put it in this file name box and click open. Then you click create placeable referenced. Click that, go to wherever your game is installed at. Steam library for me, you could be somewhere else. If you don't know, look back at my last video and you should be able to see I show a different path. I'm not going to do it every single time. Steam apps, common, Farming Sim 25, data, and then in this case, placeables, map US, and then you should be able to see it right here. Open that, click on the XML, click open. Now you're going to notice it's not going to write it as normal down here. Like normally they throw this in down there and it says pre-placed and it'll say whatever this building name is. But they didn't do that. And I'm going to show you what else I can do to make it do what it needs to do. So, since I already had the building in here, okay, from importing it, and I already had it molded out, right? Except for that little bit I got to mold the ground up. It's brought it in, but when I hit validate placeables, it's going to start popping up a whole bunch of buildings that's on my map because I brought in a whole bunch that's not been placed. Like they're just here floating. And it's going to pop up a whole bunch of things saying, hey, do you want to do this one, this one, this one? And I'm going to show you. See? The following pre-placed placeable is not yet part of the maps config file. And then it says name, pre-placed farmhouse 04. Now the reason for that is I brought them in, okay, and they're floating around. I hadn't put them or figured out where I want them yet, so I haven't done any XML work on it. And so it's asking me, do I want to add it? Now technically, I could just go through, hit yes, 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 and it should just add it all, and then I can place it down, and then I'm done. But in this case, I'm going to say no, because I'm not going to do that until I actually do that building, okay? So I'm going to hit no until, and I'm going to go all the way until I see the building that I want to put in the XML, and then I'm going to hit yes. So in these cases, I'm hitting no, and you can see what they're showing, all the different ones. So I'm going to have to be careful not to pass it, or we'll have to go all the way back through again. But I'm going to go until I see it, the name of this building, and then I'm going to hit yes. And when I hit yes, it's going to do what it needs to do. Same with any of those other buildings that you know that are there. Now the sawmill one, I had already done that, and it's still showing it for some reason. And there is 2 on here, so I'm going to delete one next time and show you and verify that it still stayed to where it should be. But it did work. I looked in game and the icons were there, so and the pictures and all that were there. So I hope I didn't pass the other one. Let me just focus. But you just keep going. I think we're getting close. A couple more. It's not far. And then it'll be that building, the US. It'll say US at the end. We're getting real close. So almost there. Right about this area. It's real close. There it is. This is the building name. It's this building right here. And it's asking me, do I want it in the maps config file? And I do. So it can write it to the XML and make a pre-placed grain flour mill US. And I'm going to hit yes. And then the rest of these, I'm just going to start hitting the X. Just like, no, I don't want to. And it's not that I don't want to. I just don't want to now because I'm going to be doing it for a video to show uh, where I'm putting it, the whole process separately, so that people, when they search a certain term, like if they search old small barn how to do it, then they'll have a video for it. If they search the beehive thing, they'll have it. Otherwise, if I put it in this video and put on just a placeable something or another, sometimes people ain't gonna understand. And so I'm trying to help the beginners to be able to grasp it better. So that's why I'm making them a little bit more individual videos about things so that people can really get what they need to understand. Because if I just write placeables in there, then people's going to get confused. They'll understand a little bit, and then they're not going to understand. Now, once that's done, you can close it by hitting the X, and it's going to ask you, do you want to save them to and then it's going to tell you the placeables config thing. And of course, that is the way that we want it saved, because that's where you save it. And if yours don't say that, and it says the main game one, then don't hit save. Don't hit yes. Hit no. But in this case, it's the config placeables XML in my map, and that's correct. So I'm going to hit yes. And now it just wrote that again, the one that I just deleted. It wrote it again in my placeables XML. Now, if I go in game right now, you see this line, that little platform that you drive on is going to be floating in the air. So I do need to lift that up so that it's not. Okay, so I'm going to have to lift up the ground here, do a little bit of molding. So let's do that real quick. It takes a second for this little thing to load. So bear with me, and I might have to do some more molding after this, but just temporarily we're going to do a little bit of molding, not much. Okay, let's leave it on replace, and I'm just going to click over here and hit R, Control R, and hopefully it grabbed the numbers down there. Let me look. It looks like it did, and I'm going to click it that way and do the replace option. So I put it on replace, I hovered over here where it's higher, and I hit Control R as in Richard, and now when I come over here, it'll lift up some, right? So then I still may have to situate it, but for now, we're just getting a little bit back so we can have it drive up. And we'll slope this with the smooth, right mouse buttons on smooth, so I can just make it all nice and smooth on the rest of that. And so we'll just bring it on out further, like that, and then smooth it out back there. Now obviously I'm going to go in close where I can see how high that is. See how close we are. We need to come up a little bit more. So we're going to have to either type bigger number or find a higher place on the ground to click. So we'll back out a little bit. Click back on the sculpt mode. And then try to pick a higher spot, but I don't think there is one. I think that all this pretty much the same. I mean, I'll look. It says 719 on the end. So let's hit it and see. Oh, that's a little higher. Let's try that. Yep, and it's touching that, just touching it. So that's going to be really close. We may even have to take a little smidgen down on it. There we go. Get it all up. Get this side up just a hair more. Let it come out a little further. Square it up a little bit. Get it over there. Now we're going to smooth it all down where it's a slant going in. And again, I may have to smooth more of this later as I look at it in game and say, oh, well, I want it to do this, or oh, I want it to do that. Alright, so I smooth that. Turn this off. And now it's a little bit below. But we're going to test that. We can always lower it later. I'm going to put it like that and see if it's under the ground when we go in game or if it's just right. Now it does look like it's a little too high for the door though, so I guess I am going to move it. I like to keep it where it looks right. Okay, so we're going to lower that just a little bit. So we can do it that several ways. Go ahead and turn the sculpt mode back on. And I'm going to take this number here. I didn't wait long enough, so I got to give it a second. Because it don't like that. And we're going to turn it back into a 7, but we're going to put point 800. Try that. And see how far. And that wasn't too bad, but it was a little too low. So I'm going to click kind of over here just a hair to get a little in the middle there, and that was pretty close. And I don't mind that going up to that level over there, so I'm going to take that on up there. And this one can come on up, and that can go back down a little because we were getting at the door, and that can too. And we'll smooth again with the right mouse button very carefully. We'll pull that back up. Alright, so that's close. We'll see. We may have to adjust it later, but that gets the door closer to right. It could go a little higher, but... And you can see kind of where it is. It's still floating a little bit, so we still may have to lift the ground a little, but that's going to do for now. And as you can see, it's got the little trigger spot right there and all that, and there was supposed to be a thing up here right there. So if it's there, then we know that it worked. Now we still have other things to do in the XML, and we're going to do that. We're going to hit save first. And I appreciate everybody. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Trying to get back into doing the map stuff again. Hope you enjoy. Waiting on it to save for a second. And always make sure that your track is run a certain way. Now I don't know if that train's going to fit under that because I ran the train over here. I haven't tried that. You can try that if you want. I would say it's probably not, and that the building don't do that because of where it's supposed to sit. But it may if you chose to run it that way. I don't know. I would assume it's going to hit the top of it, but I don't know that. So just make sure that you set your train this near a train track just for the looks of it, you know. But you don't have to, because the train is not does not affect this building. It's not. There's no sell point to do with the train. It's strictly for you taking a trailer there and stuff, from my understanding, and then stuff over here. I guess pallets would be over here, I'd assume. I hadn't really played with it much in 25, so I don't remember. But we're waiting on it to save. It probably don't like me moving the little cursor around. I'll be still. But we got to put a store item in, and we want to put the map picture for this building in. So that's the two things we need to go get and add into the XML areas. We'll be going into the Placeables XML and into the Store Items XML. Now that that's saved and the ground is changed, now you would have needed to got your ground to that place. Now one quick thing, everybody's probably saying, I don't have the building. Okay, well what you need to do is you go to your main game, and as we go there anyway to get the XML, I'll show you, or at least a little bit explaining. Technically here is already straight to the path, but I'm going to go back through. Go to D drive it or C drive or wherever your main game is. Yours might be in C drive, Program Files 86, Steam, or something else, I don't know. Steam Apps, Common, and then there's my Farm Sim 19. But my 25 is in D drive. And it's under Steam Library, double click, Steam Apps, double click, Common, double click, Farm Sim 25, double click, Data, double click, and in this case you would go to Maps, and then Maps US, okay, in this particular case, because that's where I was getting it from, Config, and then you have all these, and then you can go under Placeables, and then you can right click to get that piece of information we need. But before we do that, we're going to back up one. And you can see this Map USI 3D. You double click it like this, and you go ahead and open that up in the Giants editor. Okay? Let it open the main game. It's going to open the main, well, if you're in the main game one, this is the main game one, so it'll open the main game one. It opens up Riverbend. Once in Riverbend, go find that building right there. Okay? And if you look up here, that building is under Map, Locations, and then it's under Buildings, and then you can find it somewhere in this list. It would be right here under the Rope Maker. It would be right there. I had already deleted that one because I was going to move. Actually, it would be there, or near there. I'm not sure. It's not actually showing it. And my other one was already at the bottom of the list, but I thought it was right between here, and I think I already deleted that particular one. But either way, wherever it is, okay. So say if it wasn't in there, but it should have been in here. So mine was somewhere else. I'm gonna show you real quick. Mine was down here because I was messing with train stuff at the time, and I was just doing it for molding for near my train stuff. And so this technically can be put there. I can put this in that folder up there. Okay, you just hit the middle scroll wheel, drag it up here, put it in there, and it'll be in there. But it still works whether it's in there or not. It's just for organization. Alright, so what you would do is look in the same list that you see on my map right here, under map, locations, buildings. Okay, you're not going to have two buildings, you're just going to have one. I'm doing something differently. Okay, and it will be transferred over. Go under buildings, then protection points in the area, and then to the building name. Okay, and wherever that building name is, so say that this is that building name. It's not, but say it is. It's already been deleted in mine. You're going to click on it to highlight the whole group. You're going to click on File, Export Selection with Files. Then you're going to take that and go all the way back to your map, wherever your map is, okay? So you're going to go straight back to your map, wherever your map is. And mine's in the mods folder, so that's where I'm going. To your map, Maps US, and you can create a folder. And then you can title the folder the name of the building. Or, we're going to cancel that for a minute. If you want to get all the buildings like I did at once, and then do them separately with the XML part, and you're just getting them laid out on your map so you can quickly lay them out and know where you want them and then mold the ground around them, then you would click the whole group and do the same thing. File, Export Selection with Files, go to wherever your map is. Mine's in download Documents, My Games, FarmSim25, Mods, and the map name, Maps US. Then I would make a folder, and then I would call it production points underscore area, just like they did it, just for ease of use and recognition. And you can put it whatever name you want, but I would keep it the same. That's just the way I would do it. And then you open that folder and do the same thing, write that name again, and then hit save, and then hit yes and yes. When it asks you two different prompts, hit yes, and then yes again. Once you do that, it's going to be in your map your map files that's in the folders area. Then you're going to come in here and hit File and hit Import. And then once you do that, it'll pop up because it was the last one you just did. And you can click on it and click Open. But if it don't pop up, just go back through to wherever your map is and wherever that you had put that and whatever you had titled it. So in my case, I titled it Production Points. Click it, it's going to look just like that. And then you click it and click Open. It's going to bring in every production point. Okay, I'm going to hit Cancel. It's going to bring in all of these and of course that building, but I had deleted it. So it's going to bring all that in. Now that doesn't mean they're going to work right away when you place them. You still got to do the Placeables toolkit, or at least add that XML, whether you do the XML manually or if you use the Placeables toolkit. So you can do each one of these separately, meaning separately but all of these. So you could do the bind station one separate from the production points, but it gives you all that's in it. Or you can do every single one of them separately, which I don't suggest you do. So I had redone it later and did the whole production point and brought it in. Okay, so once it's in, it just put the XML that we just used the toolkit for to match. The XML wrote it and put it at this building. So when I went in game, there was markers where they were supposed to be. Of course, that part was floating, but that's because I didn't have my ground up to where that line was. so that's no big deal. And I don't know why they did this in Riverbend, but they put this part on this side and there's no train on this side, which totally makes no sense to me. Can anybody tell me why they did that? And yes, I could have flipped it around. I just didn't. But I'm like, why did they do that? They didn't put the doors over here where the train is for unloading the train. Now, I guess you don't have to unload a train with it. I mean, I guess maybe they said, well, a big truck's gonna come do it here. I don't know. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe it wasn't for the train, but it just looks like it should have been. So anyway, we're gonna go get the picture, and anything if we've done anything, we need to hit save. I don't think we did anything else, but I'm gonna hit save just to make sure. And then we're gonna grab the picture and the store item, and then I'm gonna go in game and show you that it's there. Now I don't even know what I'd have to think. I might could get something to show me dump something here. I'm not sure what it takes. It says grain mill US, so I'm assuming grain. I guess we could try to dump something in it, just to show it actually functioning. But it'll function. Um, if it's got the icons, you're pretty much good to go for the most part. Unless you see an error pop up. Now, I don't think it's going to pop up those errors from before. Yeah, there they are. This is what it popped up originally, this red one. But soon as I let it do, like I put validated, even though this popped up, I did hit the validate thing, and then it went through that list that you saw me go through, and then hit no, 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 then I hit yes and all that. So this suddenly came to this. You see where I hit validate, and then it finished it, and then it went and put it in there. So see, it will work. Even though you got this error, don't stop. Go do with the rest of it because it will put it there. Now, if these were not in the map, in my map right now, I'm assuming, I hadn't tried it yet, I will try it, that it would have found potentially the i3D because this one wouldn't have been here. And then it maybe would have went ahead and wrote it. Or it's just kind of broken in that way and you'll have to do it in my way. The way that I happen to have already had done. So I don't know. I'd have to wait and see because I've just now started looking at the Giants Editor 7 or 10.0.7. So that's just for people who's having problems like that and they're having that pop up, that error pop up. Don't panic. It don't affect you when just ignore it and then go on and do what I showed you. All right. So then we're going to go back to the map config, which is in my map. Go back to yours. Go to your placeables. Right click. Edit with Notepad++. Hit yes. You can see it wrote it in right there. See it. This one's still there, which I'm gonna be doing that separate, but we'll be deleting it and then bringing it back. This one's here now. It's got its own ID, but it needs that other information. Remember the little PNG stuff. So we're gonna go ahead into the in-game area, which is technically already there. Y'all saw me go there, so I guess I won't repeat myself too much. But for the newbies, just go back through. If you got to look back at the video to find the path, look back. But you can see the path, most of it up here. D drive, you know, Steam Library Common, FarmSim 25, whatever the case. Come in here, go to config, go to placeables, right click, edit with Notepad++. Come in here, and you're going to need to look for that particular grain mill little thing that has all the information. So I'm not sure if it's above me up here. I think it is potentially. Let me look. You can type it in and look for it. I should just be able to roll up and find it okay, so I'm not going to do that. Just see if I see it anywhere. Let me see. You can see all these things that you're reading right now? Those were all those things that was popping up as I was saying no, 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 no. But they're in my map because I brought them over. Most of them, not all of them. I don't think I brought them all. But you can see most of them popped up because the buildings are there now. So I'm trying to find that US one. Where's the production one? I think it's lower. That's selling points. Did we already pass it? Here it is. Alright, right here. See that? That one says 23, right? In a minute, we're going to look at my new one that we just did and see if it says 23 or not. This is the end game one, so that's why that other one said 23. Okay? So now we need to grab this line right here so we can put that in to get the picture. So that's all we need is this bottom line and that one. Right click, hit copy. Okay? Now you're going to come on back to where your map is. This is my map, so I'm going to go back to my placeables, edit with Notepad++. Then I'm going to find my grain flour mill one, and I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to get rid of that / because it won't let it work if you don't. Get rid of that, click to the end again, hit enter. Right click over where the cursor is and hit paste. Now it has the image and it has the / in this one to close it out. And now you're going to hit save. Okay? That one's done. Now we need to go to the store items. Go back to your map, click on store items, edit with Notepad++. And remember, I've told you before that I left the whole thing in there that was original to Riverbend. And then I don't have to add it. And then if I have to change something, it's already halfway there, and I could just change the beginning part. And then later I'm going to delete whatever I don't need, whatever I don't want. Now, if you don't want to do that, and you've made this empty, and you were trying to add them in separately, so if you only put the sawmill on there so far, then you only see that. That's fine. You can do that. Just go to the same place, the main game area that we were just at, and get the store items from there. Click on it, edit with Notepad++, find the one you need, and in this case, it would have been the US one. Let me see where it is. There it is, right there. You would click here, drag over, right click and hit copy. Then you would go back to your placeables, to yours, and your store, your placeables or your store. Well, in this case, your store items. Sometimes I say the wrong thing. And then you would come under here. You'd click here. You would hit enter. You would right click and you would hit paste. Now I'm not going to do that because I don't need to, because it's already there, as you can see. Now I didn't customize it, and since I didn't customize it, I didn't put it in the map, like completely in the map to stay. So it's being called by the main game, so that your file for your map is smaller. Otherwise your file size for your map gets just so big, it's just insane. Okay, so this one's done. You need to hit save. So now that's all there, and it's going to show the stuff it needs to show because it's already here. This is here. Alright, so now we're ready to go in the game. We already saved. We already put the placeables thing in there. We put the ID in there. Let's go on and open it up and head on in. I hope y'all enjoying. We're going to be moving along. I'm going to try to be working on several different buildings that's near the train track. The whole point is to try to finish up the train stuff. I want the buildings in there, and then I want to do the train video. I got to do it. I got to look over it again. It's been a little bit since I did it, but I'd spent a good little bit there on it, getting it just right. I want to tweak a couple more things and then make a video on it. And then once we do that, we'll move on to something else potentially. I don't know. We may do all the XML buildings and then move on to something else. I don't know. I have to see. Alright, let's just pick one. No tour. Go to the map. And we go. Go ahead and smash that like button. Appreciate everybody. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more map making in the Giants Editor for Farming Simulator 25. Hopefully we can get this map moving. Once I get the XML work in, I'm going to try to maybe look at the roads potentially. I'm trying to save the water until closer to last, in case I decide to change some things, because I plan to make it in Blender, and I want to make sure my ground is where it needs to be. I don't want to remake the water. So I want to do a video for y'all, but you know, if I move the ground, I don't want to redo the water, so I don't want to do it twice. So that's why I'm waiting, so I can get the shape of the ground exactly finished up where I'm really going to put water. Otherwise, if I make it now and then I do something different, then I got a whole spot that ain't gonna have water, or it's gonna be missing water or not needing water, and there ain't no point in doing it twice. Now if it's a little small piece of water, like a little pond, that'd be one thing. You don't even need it, Blender, for that. I mean, you technically don't need it for this. You could just make it square, which I don't know, I may end up doing if I don't have anything where I dig down and it would hit water. If you're doing any kind of digging stuff, I don't know that that's such a good idea, because you're going to hit the water when you need to be digging down into the earth or whatever. Almost done. And we'll get in there and see about whether we need to get a trailer. I'm going to go ahead and get one, I think. Drive it there. I hope I can get over there, because I didn't even put the bridge down. I got to fix that bridge. Let me see. Let's go on and get a trailer. Hit R. Let's see, what do we do? Let's get rent something bigger. What do we get? We could get a New Holland, I guess. And customize, lease, yes. Okay. And then get a small trailer. And then we'll be good to go. Lease it. And hopefully that's good enough to test it. There we go. Still says jet lines. I was gonna do a video on like cutting grass and stuff, but I don't think I ever did that one on 25 that I was gonna do. I was having some issues. Alright, so let me try to figure out how I'm gonna get to that place. I think I'm gonna just drive over the train track. It'll be the shortest way. So hopefully the train don't hit me. It could. Now this road will not be here. Okay, all these roads are just laying there. Those buildings floating and buried in the ground ain't gonna be there. Everything ain't quite done yet. That's floating. I gotta situate that bridge. I actually gotta situate the ground. I had to lift the bridge up because the boat wouldn't fit under it. So now I gotta raise my ground up over there, and so that's why I think I've explained it. I might not. I think I'm gonna explain it more in a future video. But you gotta get your water right for your boat and your bridge height, or you're gonna be having problems. So make sure you think about all those things. And that other building behind me, that's back there, you gotta make sure that if you're gonna put it next to the train track, like in the regular game, that you have the water at the right level, because the boat that parks next to it will hit that little spout that comes out. Oh, the train's coming, look. We're about to have an accident. I hope I can fit through this. We about had an accident. Hey, train. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I love it. I was happy when that thing worked. My goodness, that was a nightmare. Okay. Let's get over here. I'll have to fix this ground. Like I told you, I ain't finished with it. But you can see I picked the right level. Look at that. Look at that level. Look how good that looks. Look at there. Now that, you can't say that ain't good. That was a good choice, wasn't it? Now I could make this ramp a little better, maybe a little further out and everything. We'll do that. Alright, so now we need to load this with the power toolkit. And that's a screenshot it did. And we're going to hit wheat and see if that dumps in here. I'm not really sure. It should. I imagine so. I don't really get to play the game a lot. There we go. See? And there you go. It's loading it right up. That means it worked. So y'all saw that it wasn't there, and then it was there. So that's how you can do it if it's acting like you can't find it. just go import it from the main game, and then tell it to validate, and then go through that list until you find it and hit yes, and then you're good to go, other than the icon. Now let me show you. Now I ain't gonna necessarily stick around to show you this other part. Now I didn't mold that very good, did I? I should have smoothed that out. But this is just a test to show you. Alright, this has that, but look back here. We have the icon. So if you see right here, come up here, hit R, you could buy it, which obviously I can't buy it right now, but you can see that it works. I'm not going to go through all that. But then once you bought it, it would produce whatever it produces here. So I don't even know for sure what all it produces, but you can look and figure it out when you play the game. But isn't it wonderful? I mean, that is so cool. Now it's next to our train track, and I can smooth that ground out. We got to still do all the other stuff with the grass and everything. And now we have it. And you saw the train, it fit between those two things. That's why I put it there. And it's right by the animal dealer, which is so cool, because now we can see when you're driving on the train, you can look at the animals, and I thought that would be really cool. I'm hoping the distance is decent enough that you can kind of see them. You ain't going to see them real good, but you can kind of see them. But I thought that would be cool. I was trying to make it nice, pick out some nice things. But you can see how they didn't put it the way you would have thought they would have put some of these things. I mean, it's very interesting. But I guess that's going to do it. We're going to be working maybe on the sawmill on the next one just to get it going, and I'll have to get some wood to put a tree over there to cut. But I guess that's going to do it. We got that. We just got to smooth the ground now, and we are on our way. So now if you had any problems with your Placeables toolkit that for 10.0.7 you know what to do. Just go back in my video, look it over, you can get it done. Anyway, you also have this icon showing, as you can see here. So technically it's perfect, but I wish the building could have been barely over a little bit, but it's good. And you can hit visit, and you can visit the building like so. It puts you at this little icon for the wrench. And then if you don't want to do that, you can click on it and you can manage it, the building. You can look in here. So you can see all that works. And you can do that again and go back to the map area. My bad, I got to click up here. Go back there and you can buy the place. It works. We don't have the money, but you can. And then you can tag the place. Now, you can hit tag. And so once you do that, if you can hit visit again, you come out, and well, I guess the tag went away because we were there. We hit visit. We shouldn't have hit visit. We'll have to get away from it a little. Actually, it shows it right over there. It shows you the little red thing instead of a big beam like the rest of them. It shows you that red thing and the little ticking down of the feet or whatever. I'm not sure. I guess they're running you over here. Yeah, they're running you over here. So that's what you see in here instead of a big beam of light. Used to be a big beam of light up there. But there you go. As you can see, that's perfect. And that has all of it working. And so you can also see the picture. So when you click on the icon, you see the picture. And why do you see the picture? Because we added that PNG picture, that line of information from the main game, into our Placeables XML file. So that is why that picture shows up. Otherwise, you would not see that picture. But I appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.